Alright guys, I want to show you my little LED strip lights, or the kind of the faux pin stadium lights here on my Whirlwind. As I'm looking through the iPad on this, it actually looks brighter on the camera than in person. Right now they're not on, but so yeah, even that back glass looks way brighter on the camera than it looks like really yellow in person. But anyway, I've had this Whirlwind for probably the longest of any pinball machine I've ever had, and it's the only pinball machine I have right now. But and I just like it. I don't know what about it, but I've replaced the MPU board with a new Rotten Dog board, new Rotten Dog power supply, and a new Rotten Dog display, which I went with the blue one, which I kind of like for the blue cabinet. And you can see right now it has have some blue LED strip lights going down the bottom and around the top. But anyway, so what I decided I was going to do is I saw some of the Penn Stadium lights, and they're really cool for newer machines where you can hook them up for the where they'll tie into the different modes and they'll change and all of it. For an older machine like this, I mean, I guess you could, you know, tie it into the lightning strike or whatever, but there's not much mode going on. So what I did is, if you can see here, there's a aluminum strip here and here, and what that is, that's half by half 16th wall angle aluminum, and it's held on by, I didn't want to put screws in or anything, but it's held on by Velcro. And then I have the first LED strips I put in there were the RGB ones, and they look kind of a blue hue to it, and so I didn't really like them, and so I ordered some off eBay, and they are these right here. They're just solid white, but they're ultra bright white, solid white, so they're really bright. And then I ordered some of these. You can buy a pack, that way you don't have to do any soldering, just because those things are really, really thin when you start soldering. And you know, you get a strip of them. I mean, I still have plenty left over. And I actually ordered the non-waterproof ones, and of course they came in and they were the waterproof. And all that is they just have a plastic coating on them, but you can cut it off. It's no big deal, but yeah, let me turn off the light. And like I say, the camera picks up the light better. I mean, it looks really, really dark with in real life it looks really dark. But let me just plug it in and I'll show you the difference. If I can do this one-handed. Yeah, look at that's a huge difference. And it just looks really bright on the camera, but it's actually like just a super clean white look in person. It actually looks pretty good through the camera, but you can kind of tell the difference. But that back glass really looks dark in person. But yeah, it was super easy. You can see I have my wiring run right here. I'm actually going to put LEDs all in here. I'm working on my list right now, and I'm going to lift it up. So I just kind of temporarily did it. I'm going to kind of run that wire down through the apron, and then it just comes across here and attaches this one. Same thing with this one. I'm going to kind of run it down. But for what I got into it, it's a huge difference. I figured it up. I have probably around $23 in this setup. That angle was from McMaster-Carr. I order McMaster-Carr about every day through my work. I think I got 8 feet of that for like $4.83, something like that. The Velcro was 1/4 inch wide, and it was actually the Velcro brand. It was like, I can't remember, like $7 for like 20 feet of it. and it's 1/4 inch wide, but it's really thin and it's really strong. It holds that no problem. The LED strips were $6.73, I think, shipped. And then those connectors, I got a bag of 10. They were $3 and something shipped. And that's pretty much it. I mean, and what I did is this one I tied into it here, and it runs under here with some thin wire, and then it connects to this one, and then I connected all those, and they run down into the service plug. And so, you know, but if you have your game plugged into a wall, that service plug is going to be hot all the time. But I have mine on a strip, so when I turn it off, it's dead. And when I turn it back on, I can do it with my foot. It's back on. And I actually have the blue in there as well. And I have just a 2 outlet, and it's hooking up through that service switch outlet. But super easy, and when you lift your play field up with any of these, you know, if you do a homemade one or you buy the Penn Stadium, you're going to have to take them off. So like I say, all I have to do is when I take the lockdown bar off, unscrew some wire nuts, undo those wires, just unvelcro each side and just pull them off. I mean, and unplug it through the coin door. So, you know, 2 minutes just to get those results. I mean, it looks fantastic, and it's really going to pop, I think, once you put all the LEDs in it. And I didn't realize how many dang bulbs were. I've never really LED'd a machine. My gosh. And I didn't realize how many burnt bulbs were on this thing until I got looking underneath it and trying to make a list. But I'm super happy about it. When I first plugged it in, I was like, oh my gosh, it changed it so much. So super easy, super cheap, and for an older game, I think it just super brightens it up. I can see how dirty my ramps are, and I can actually see everything. But I have brand new rubbers and rings for this, and like I say, I'm working on the LED list, and gonna go over it and take the ramps apart and clean everything good. And I can't wait to get that backlight. The back, like through the camera, it looks kind of bright, but in person it's super yellow. That's it. I really like it. I mean, it makes it look like a modern pinball. So anyway, all right, guys. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll answer and point you to the right direction that I know how. So super easy, and I mean, you could get creative. I mean, you could tie it into a 12 volt, maybe like through the lightning or whatever your machine has, and not have to do the service plug or whatever. But that's a good thing about pinball. You can kind of be creative. So anyway, if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. Thanks.